welcome to the only and hopefully last Bali guide that you will ever need. I have been to this beautiful magical island multiple times. I think if you add up the time that I spent in Bali, I spent there probably years. So I definitely know Bali really well. I would even consider myself a Bali expert. So in this video, I'm gonna share everything I would share with a friend about Bali. Where should you eat? Where should you stay? Which gyms should you train at? Where are the best spas? Which places should you visit? I'm making this for you and honestly also for all the people who ask me on social media like, hey Axel, where should I eat? Hey Axel, where should I do this? Probably also selfish reasons. I just want to save time. In the future, I will send them a link to this video. So let's not waste time. Let's jump right into it. Okay, let's start with some simple details about Bali. There's not too much that you should know, but there are a couple of things and sometimes I see it on social media. Bali is a part of Indonesia. Bali is an island and it's a big island. Going from north to south would be actually interesting to look it up how long it would take by car during the day. I wouldn't do that. It just takes so much time. Bali is really diverse, so you can have beautiful beaches, jungles. It offers everything. If you want to party, you can party. If you want to be quiet completely on your own, be careful when you have expectations about Bali, because that's one thing that I currently see on social media. Many people come to Bali and then they spend 2 weeks in Canggu and they're like, hell no, man. This is Bali? Canggu is just one place, just one of many places in Bali. So you can't just judge Bali based on one place. And you know, Canggu, maybe that's a great starting point. Let's talk about the most important places, the most beautiful places in Bali that you should visit. Canggu is a phenomenon. I remember driving on my bike, I think it was like 6-7 years ago. I was backpacking through Asia and I was looking at the rice fields and I was like, wow, this place is so magical. There were a couple of restaurants, like some vegan food options, not many compared to other places. They had good gyms, so I was like, nice, I like it here. And I spent a lot of time in Canggu until last year, end of last year, like November, I went there again and it's just really overcrowded. It feels like everyone is coming and everyone is coming to Canggu. And Canggu, really, no offense, but it's not the prettiest place in Bali. The beaches aren't that pretty compared to other beaches. Usually really crowded. It takes a lot of time to get from one place to the other. So if you're coming to Bali, please see more than just Canggu. I always wonder, like, why do people come to Canggu? Like, especially tourists. I get why expats who spend a lot of time in Bali, like long-term living kinda, I understand why they choose Canggu. It has incredible gyms. We're gonna talk about gyms later. Great spas, the best food, I have to be honest, the best food options in whole of Bali, but still it's really crowded and really packed. So that's also the reason why last time when I went to Bali, I spent most of the time in Uluwatu. Maybe we can just, it's such a beautiful storyline. Let's talk about Uluwatu. Uluwatu is this magical place in the south of Bali. It takes about 1 hour from Canggu to Uluwatu. During the day, probably 2 hours. But if you drive in the evening or really early morning, great tip by the way. Uluwatu, beautiful beaches. If you are into surfing, Canggu is also a good surfing spot, but Uluwatu is just magical. Big, sandy beaches, completely alone. Also like in November, I remember walking at Nyang Nyang Beach. I was completely by myself. I was just like, oh, this is so blissful. This is what I think Bali is about, nature. Like the last time a couple of years ago when I went to Uluwatu, I missed a good gym. I didn't have the proper food options, but Uluwatu really caught up. They have nice spas. They have great food options. Not as good as Canggu, definitely not as good, but they're catching up and more restaurants are opening. So Uluwatu is a really nice place to visit just for a couple of days, but also to stay long term. Ubud is also a place where people stay a bit longer. There is a nice community. Great food in Ubud. One of the best restaurants. We're going to talk about restaurants later. But Ubud has really good food. Ubud was the place where people went to if they wanted to heal. So Ubud is really has a big spiritual community. You can do things like sound healing there. Beautiful rice terraces. also gets pretty busy nowadays. I wouldn't want to stay there long term, but it's completely up to you. Like so many, you might be completely different than I am. So I would definitely visit Ubud, try it out, see how you like the vibe. You will have good gyms, you will have good spas. I even have friends, not gonna name anyone, Violetta, who just goes to Ubud for a food trip. Yeah, so Ubud, worth your time. Now let's talk about places where most people don't go. The north of Bali. And there are so many nice places in the north of Bali that, as I said, tourists never visit, hoping that this won't change. But especially the area around Singgaraya, I hope I pronounce it correctly. There are so many incredible waterfalls. And if you go there really early morning, you might have the chance to be completely by yourself. Go early, go explore the north. Maybe find a nice Airbnb. There are also really affordable places. I mean, I went to a trip to Lovina. I might be biased because this is where Mari and we kind of fell in love. Lovina is a nice place, but in general, just in the north, there are a couple of smaller places. You're gonna see a couple of here, absolutely beautiful. Ahmed, just in general, north of Bali, underrated, definitely worth your time. Nusa Penida, one of the most beautiful places I have seen in my entire life. If you see those stunning videos of Bali, it's usually Nusa Penida, one of the most incredible beaches I've seen in my entire, many of the most incredible beaches. Again, we talk beaches later, but just Nusa Penida is a must. Sorry, if you come to Bali, you have to see Nusa Penida. It is a bit of a hassle to get there. You have to go to Sanur, like a harbor somewhere, and then take a boat. Takes 45 minutes, I think, an hour, but it's so worth it. Probably not the best place to stay if you need really fast Wi-Fi. There was always a struggle when we went there, but still, just seeing those beaches, just magical. That's all I can say about Nusa Penida. You have solid food options. Also, if you're vegan, you will find a couple of places. In general, Indonesia, you will always find something. You just ask. They're super vegan friendly. They always have something. At least that's my experience. Since we're already talking about Nusa Penida, let's talk beaches. Number one will be either Diamond Beach in Nusa Penida or T-Rex Beach, Kelinking Beach. Again, I hope I don't mispronounce it. Especially Kelinking Beach, you have this incredible view. Can get packed during the day, so either come for sunset or come really early, or just live with the fact that it's packed. If you want, you can hike down. It's pretty, I would call it dangerous. It takes about 45 minutes. You're gonna be really exhausted once you arrive down there. Because it's so challenging, not many people do it, and every single time I went down, it was pretty empty, which is really nice just because it's just really pretty. Diamond Beach is a bit less difficult to get to, pretty popular beach, so you can imagine many people are coming. It's just so beautiful, crystal blue water, white sand, cannot ask for more. I already mentioned Uluwatu. Uluwatu has really pretty beaches. Many of them, almost every beach you go to is just really nice. I like, my favorite ones are Nyang Nyang. I just lived close to Nyang Nyang. Melasti Beach is also pretty, but as I said, there are so many nice beaches. Try all of them. Just one thing that I should mention, some of the beaches you have to hike down a bit. For example, the famous Wingin Beach. Like whenever I go to Uluwatu the first 2 days, my calves get sore just because there's so many stairs and you always hike, and the stairs are just... That's what she said! And another beach in Uluwatu is Dreamland Beach. I don't have good memories because I lost my scooter key there, but it's... The good thing about Dreamland Beach is you can basically drive to the beach and you have to walk like a minute. So if you don't wanna hike. Let's talk gyms and spas. If we talk about gyms and spas, we definitely have to start with Canggu, because Canggu has by far the best options. Number one would be Body Factory. It's a really, let's call it, premium gym, fancy gym. It's really popular. I think a monthly membership is around 200-300 euro. You might ask yourself, who on earth would pay that much for a gym membership? Hi, it's me. I mean, you're not just paying a gym membership. You pay also for the spa area. I go there mainly because of the ice baths and the sauna. It's a really nice sauna, really nice ice bath. Also for the community, the people. I mean, the gym is solid, it's nice, but it gets really packed. I usually, if I train there, I train between 1 and 3 because in the morning, forget about it. If you're on a budget and you still want to do that, there are also more affordable gyms all over Canggu. I'm just highlighting the best places. CrossFit Wanderlust, if you're into CrossFit, you have to go to CrossFit Wanderlust. It's such a nice vibe. I remember the first time I walked in, that's where I did CrossFit for the first time. The music and the people and everyone was like, just not giving a damn about what other people are thinking. Barbells are flying around. Plus, they just opened their spa area, which has a nice pool, a nice ice bath, a nice sauna, and it's definitely more affordable than Body Factory. CrossFit Wanderlust. Also, if you're not into CrossFit, just on a Saturday, go there for a partner workout. You're gonna have a blast. Another incredible spa that I should mention in Uluwatu is the Istana Spa. Funny thing about the Istana Spa, when you go there, they take your phone. It's not allowed to take any pictures, any videos. So you have to live with Google Images right now. It has everything you need. Sauna, ice bath, they have infrared saunas, they have cold chambers, they have all kinds of things. It's phone-free time. It's so nice. It's just, you just talk to people, really small portions and overpriced food. They also have that. No offense, no offense. Istana Spa, beautiful. I could just sit there and look at the view for hours and hours and hours. Let's talk about accommodations. You probably have already noticed that Bali can be a bit pricey, but Bali can be also really affordable. You can spend a couple of euros per night in a hostel, or you get a massive mansion right at the beach and you spend hundreds if not thousands per night. You can get really fancy vegan food in a nice restaurant, or you can eat at Warung, that's the local restaurant, 2-3 euros on 2 dishes. So Bali is really diverse. You can have both sides, whatever you want. Thing about accommodations, if you stay long term, I would recommend Facebook groups, especially right now. Like, it's pretty tough to get something nice for a good price in a place like Canggu. Facebook groups are your way to go. Also Airbnb, depends obviously on how long you stay, but if you stay long term, you should avoid those kind of places and try to find local connections, Facebook groups, or just people. I have friends, they went just around and asked people, and then someone knows someone who knows someone. The reasons why Bali is so popular, everyone is so freaking kind. Everyone is just really kind. Obviously, everywhere you have exceptions, but they help you. They tell you like, oh, I have this friend. Wait, I have this friend. This is my cousin. He has this. Bali is just... Obviously, there are also nice hotels. Really nice hotels. Kempinski, by the way. Not sponsored. I wish. Really dope hotel. Mari and I went there a couple of times. Obviously, with premium prices, but a good place to go. And in general, there's not much to say. I could give you a couple of accommodations now, but usually they're fully booked. If I would stay less than a month, I would probably book something on Airbnb or Booking. If I would stay longer than a month, I would try to look at Facebook groups, ask people that I know, people who are already in Bali, who have connections. You can get monthly deals, you can get yearly deals. Usually the longer you stay, the cheaper it gets. So after you went to a beautiful beach for a nice surf and you exercised after that, did some CrossFit, you're probably gonna be hungry. So let's talk about food. As I already mentioned, food is a really big thing in general in Indonesia, but also in Bali. The vegan food options are incredible. I'm gonna give you a couple of restaurants that you have to visit. Number 1, Manggis. Again, I might be biased. This was where Mari and I had our first date, but I also, whenever I take someone there, it's fully vegan. Whether you're vegan or not, just go there. Trust me, the food is incredible. The tofu hollandaise sandwich is from a different planet. House salad bowl is the best, one of the best salads I had in my entire life. Crate Cafe is another great place. They are not fully vegan, but they have great vegan options. They have this one fancy drink, you might have seen it on my socials. It's called Sweet Ass. It's like a smoothie with berries on top. It's frozen dragon fruit and frozen banana. It's so good. Good root is another great dish that I eat there. You get a massive portion for a couple of euros. It's quite affordable. It's not as fancy. It's pretty loud when you're there, so I wouldn't bring my date there. I would rather bring it to Mangi's, which I did. Crate isn't open for dinner anyways. It's like a breakfast and lunch place. I am vegan, babe, has to be on that list in Canggu as well. Again, whether you're vegan or not, they just have great food, kind of Mexican food. The owners are really nice. They have this cute dog and just have everything from teriyaki bowls to club sandwiches to pancakes, this and that. So definitely I'm vegan, babe. I mentioned Ubud here before. I haven't explored too much of Ubud, but I definitely know Zest. Zest is a great restaurant, really popular. Are they fully vegan? I'm not sure, but they have fantastic food. Great sushi, great pizzas, burgers, whatever. Last but not least, Tasty Vegan. If you ever make it to Kuta for whatever reason, visit Tasty Vegan. You could go there on a nice date, you sit in a nice garden. I know the family. They have like dishes like nasi kari, so kind of a bit like traditional Indonesian food but made vegan. Okay, we are slowly but surely coming to the end. I just have a couple of bonus tips. First of all, if you go to Indonesia, if you go to Bali, please do yourself a huge favor and learn a bit of Bahasa. It's a really nice, easy to learn language. The locals really appreciate that when you speak a bit of Bahasa, just the general things like thank you and hello. And if you want to avoid spicy food like things like tidak pedas. You know, especially if you travel to non-touristy areas, can be really helpful. Most people in Bali speak English, but not everyone, and you can't take it for granted, or like you can't expect that everyone speaks English. So it's good to know some phrases. It's fun. So maybe download an app and learn a bit of Bahasa. Second thing, download an app called Gojek and or Grab to order food, to get a Gojek bike or a Gojek car. I think you can even order a massage or send a parcel to a friend all over Bali. It's like the place. Always tip the drivers well, please, 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 because it's so cheap and they really work incredibly hard. Usually they're really kind and they live off the tip. So please, massive tips for all of the Grab, Gojek drivers. Without tips, this whole system wouldn't work, and you know, just support. A special tip for all the vegans here, Happy Cow is a great app where you can find vegan food options, or they show you like the vegan restaurants that are close by. But honestly, most places in Bali are just packed with vegan restaurants, so that won't be challenging. In Bali, you will definitely meet a lot of experts, a lot of digital nomads, and if you want to become one, if you want to have your own online business, work from wherever you want, then I have brilliant news for you. This whole world opened up for me because I became a virtual assistant. I think that was 6-7 years ago. It's a great job. You can choose the people you want to work with. You can work from anywhere. You can do the things you're passionate about, like video editing, podcast editing, organizing. I have 2 virtual assistants who are working for me right now. I know the coaching industry really well. A lot of people are hiring virtual assistants, which is why I partnered up with Sophie Bennett, who has already helped more than 500 people to become a virtual assistant. We both created a self-study course. You can do it from wherever, whenever you want. Self-paced, up to you. You can basically finish the entire course in 1 month and have your first clients. It's really up to you how much time it takes until the whole thing finishes. If you're really quick, then it's obviously quicker than someone who's like, a bit slower. So you might be just 1 step away from a completely different life. Click the link in the description box. Sign up, get your spots. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, if it brought you value, thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. If you are from Indonesia, let us know, where should we go in Bali. Thank you so much. And until next time, my friends.